Okay, y'all, time for a little impromptu, off-the-cuff poetry. Slam poetry. Featuring me, Andy Nowicki. Jean-Luc Brunel found dead in cell? What the hell? Thank you. Thank you very much. So, I feel that I should comment on this story, even though I don't have much to add factually to the case, just because this is my bread and butter as far as well, ever since it got into me that evil runs the world, and the worst kinds of evil, not just silly Dr. Evil caricature, James Bond villain kind of evil, but real evil who do every kind of hideous thing imaginable. Ever since that notion was first suggested to me in the form of the Franklin scandal, and I found I could not refute what the facts presented to me in scrutinizing that case. I've been on this trail. I've been on this path, this war path, if you will. Now, I'm not an investigative reporter. I can't, unfortunately, I can't just drop everything and go around following stories and getting in people's faces and asking them pressing questions that nobody else is asking them, like Addy Ads, who I will link to, very good investigative reporter who's really stayed on this case. Unfortunately, it's not that doesn't fall to me. That can't fall to me because I have obligations that prevent me from living that kind of life. Maybe 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, I could have done it. I remember after Isaac Cappy mysteriously died by throwing himself off a bridge, or some kind of verbiage like that was used, forcing himself off a bridge in a most unnatural, peculiar manner, and nothing surrounding the story of Cappy's death seems to make much sense either, or seems to add up very much either. If we're just going to chalk it up as a troubled man ending his own life. That was a time, you might recall if you were with me on my old channel, that was a time when, after that happened, I really seriously wanted to get out. I wanted to go out to that deserted area in Arizona where this was reported to have happened, and I wanted to follow leads and talk to people and really do the investigative reporter thing, just because I followed Isaac since the time he came out of Hollywood with his stories, and I really found him a very, very compelling witness, in spite of his flaws, in spite of the things about him that weren't perfect. I was always Team Isaac, so it felt a little bit like losing a friend almost when he died, just because I had followed him so closely and so intensely, and there were a couple of times we had even spoken online. He didn't know who I was. I wouldn't claim that, but he was somebody who was approachable and often would communicate with people who were DMing him, and so he and I had talked a couple times. So anyway, I didn't have any similar relationship, but of course with fashion mogul and child trafficker, alleged child trafficker, as we should say, I guess, Jean-Luc Brunel, who was closely affiliated with Epstein and supposedly provided him with many young girls to be abused by both Epstein and by other luminaries of the academic and political scene. But what can be said about this? I mean, he was in a French prison, and then he up and hanged himself. He hanged himself. I don't know with what. What did he hang himself with? What did he find to hang himself with? There's no recording of the hanging taking place. Where were the guards? I guess the guards weren't there. They either turned the other way, or it was either corruption or incompetence. It was one or the other. This is an extremely high-profile prisoner. You got to watch him like a hawk. You know, I mean, I would. It's something I know. I'm not even in the. I don't work in the prison system. I don't know what it's like to live a day-to-day existence as a prison guard or a prison warden. But I mean, I know something common sense enough that to say that if you've got somebody who's really high profile, who's been accused of doing heinous things that involve many famous, powerful people, and possibly, you know, and his testimony will possibly implicate these famous and powerful people. This is a guy you should watch like a hawk at all times, and be sure to keep him safe at all times. You know, 24 hours, 24/7. How do you let this guy hang himself? It's a farce. I mean, it's everything you would say about Epstein, of course. Everything that could be said about that case. Which happened now? I guess 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But again, it's a farce. It's ultimately it's so obvious that it's a setup, that it's a put-up job, that the authorities don't want certain things to come out. It's not good for them. It's not good for upholding the establishment. It's not good for upholding the system, if you will. Because, as I was saying the other day, you know, in my metaphor of good cop and bad cop, which I was talking about in my my Vengeance Revisited video, you know, everybody within the realms, the halls of power, even though they may be sincerely opposed to one another, there are probably factions that have sincere opposition. They are still united in the sense that they want to keep you in their thrall. They want to keep you on the grid. They want to keep you invested in the system. They want to get you to vote, because when you vote, a vote is a vote of confidence for the system, more than it's a vote for any particular candidate. It's saying, I believe that my vote will be counted, and you know, it sends that message, no matter what you happen to believe personally. It has the effect of sending that message. And so with a case like with something like this happening, you know, first time is tragedy, the second time is farce. Well, really, it was a farce both times, because it's not tragic that Epstein died. He was a scummy human being. It's not tragic that John Luc Brunel died. He was a scummy human being. It's tragic only in what it portends and what it signifies, that now their testimony will never be heard. And that seems to have been, I mean, I dare say that seems to be the point of suiciding these people in the first place. So I'm a little all over the place, I know, and I'm not saying anything that maybe you haven't already thought of, but these are just my initial thoughts. I felt the need to comment on this story. And let me know what you think below. I'm very interested to hear from anybody else. So leave your comments down there if you would like. My name is Andy Nowicki. Check out my work at altrightnovelist.com. My latest book, The Insurrectionist, may be purchased from terrorhousepress.com.